the wife of Justice Samuel Alito. She's an interesting person. That's one way of putting it. She goes on a full MAGA rant. It is one you have to hear for yourself.
Are you Ms. Alito?
I am.
Hi, my name's Lauren. I just met these ladies tonight, but
very cool.
I'm a huge fan of your husband, and
Let's stop before we go here.
everything that you're going through, I just want to tell you that, like,
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not okay, though. It's not okay.
It's okay. It's okay because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and I'm
What do you
going to
mean
get.
by
Well, there's a 5-year defamation statute of limitations.
But I don't know what you mean by they. Like, why do you think they're coming after you?
They are.
I mean, like the whole like appeal to have heaven flag was like.
Right, but that's, the other thing is the feminazis believe that he should control me.
Yeah.
So we'll go to hell. He never controls me. It's okay.
No, but it makes me so angry.
Don't get angry.
It makes me so angry.
Don't get angry. Get even.
They're persecuting you, and you're like a convenient stand-in for anybody who's religious.
Look at me. I'm German. I'm German. My heritage is German. You come after me, I'm going to give it back to you. And there will be a way. It doesn't have to be now, but there will be a way. They will know.
Skyrocketing.
Don't worry about it. God, you read the Bible. Psalm 27 is my song. Mine. Psalm 27. The Lord is my God and my rock. Of whom shall I be afraid? Nobody.
I have to tell you, no matter your politics, I think there's other people like me. I found that to be very scary. I'm now wondering all kinds of things about Martha-Ann. Let's give you more of the details on this one. Per the Daily Beast, Martha-Ann Alito, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, complained about the pride flag. Okay, she has a lot of time on her hands. Ranted about feminazis, explained a flag design that she has been creating in her head in anticipation of when her husband is, quote, free of this nonsense. I don't mind telling her we all would like to be free of this, quote unquote, nonsense. It would be good sooner rather than later.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Per Undercover audio released Monday by journalist and documentary filmmaker Lauren Windsor on X, that's what she uncovered. It's stunning. The exchange between Martha-Ann and Windsor captured June 3rd at the Supreme Court Historical Society's annual dinner. Look lovely, don't they? It revealed how unfazed Martha-Ann is by the recent controversy over flag displays outside the Alito family's homes in suburban Virginia and on the New Jersey shore. So Windsor brings up her conversation with Justice Alito about political polarization before Martha-Ann goes on further. She does have a thing for flags.
This country is so polarized. How do we repair that rift? It's like, I don't know. It's not our role. And I looked at what happened to you and your wife, and I'm like, how is there any negotiating with the radical left? There's not. You cannot negotiate with the radical left. You have to just win.
They feel. They don't think.
No, but you have to win.
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame. Vergogna. 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 Shame on you. You know. Anyway.
Shame. What if I put up a picture of Jesus wearing pride colors? I wonder what Martha-Ann thinks of that. Could happen. In an initially released recording from the same event, Justice Samuel Alito also appeared to speak candidly about the limited scope of the Supreme Court's investigation into the leak of his draft majority opinion in the 2022 case that ended the federally constitutional right to abortion. Per Rolling Stone, the justice also said he, quote, agrees that the U.S. should return to a place of godliness. Somebody.
I know it's got to be terrible what you and your family are going through right now. So I'm just so sorry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But, and I'm sure you don't remember this at all, but what I'd asked you about the polarization in this country, about like how do we repair that rift? And considering everything that's been going on in the past year, you know, as a Catholic and as someone who like really cherishes my faith, I don't know that we can negotiate with the left in the way that like needs to happen for the polarization to end. I think that it's a matter of like winning.
I think you're probably right. I think one side or the other is going to win. I mean, there can be a way of working, a way of living together peacefully, but it's difficult, you know, because there are differences on fundamental things that really can't be compromised. Really can't be compromised. So it's not like we're going to split the difference.
I think that the solution really is like winning the moral argument. Like people in this country who believe in God have got to keep fighting for that to return our country to a place of godliness.
Oh, I agree with you.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You hear Justice Samuel Alito. Justice Alito spoke candidly about the ideological battle between the left and the right, discussing the difficulty of living peacefully with ideological opponents in the face of fundamental differences that can't be compromised. He endorsed what his interlocutor described as a necessary fight to return our country to a place of godliness. And Alito offered a blunt assessment of how America's polarization will ultimately be resolved. One side or the other is going to win. Again, the reporting from Rolling Stone there. Supreme Court Historical Society's annual dinner is known to right-wing activists as an opportunity to buttonhole Supreme Court justices. His comments were recorded by Lauren Windsor, again, liberal documentary filmmaker. Windsor attended that dinner as a dues-paying member of the society under her real name, along with a colleague. She asked questions of the justice as though she were a religious conservative. Justice unguarded comments highlight the degree to which Alito makes little effort to present himself as a neutral umpire, calling judicial balls and strikes, but rather as a partisan member of a hard right judicial faction that is empowered to make life-altering decisions for each and every American. Alito's comments add to the controversy surrounding the conservative justice. Alito and his wife, Martha-Ann, have been embroiled in a flap over two flags flown at their residences. They've been adopted by right-wing factions that contest the legitimacy of the results of the 2020 election. Now, the first flag, a U.S. flag, blown upside down, is a symbol of political distress. It was adopted by the Stop the Steal movement supporting Donald Trump, documented at the Alito's Virginia home on January 17, 2021. It was flown just before President Joe Biden's inauguration and after the January 6th Capitol riots, the insurrection, the treasonous who stormed the Capitol. Second flag, Revolutionary War era Appeal to Heaven banner, references John Locke's idea that when political appeals fail, men can take up arms, leaving injustice to God. Initially non-controversial, it has since been revived by militant Christian nationalists, was a symbol on January 6th. This flag was flown at the Alito's New Jersey vacation home. And it wasn't that long ago that it was up there for all to see down the shore as they proudly displayed it. 2023, down the Jersey Shore. Democratic congressional leaders cited the displays and calls for Alito to recuse himself from cases involving January 6 defendants, as well as the case to determine whether Trump is immune from prosecution over his efforts to subvert the outcome of the 2020 election. Alito rejected the call for recusal in a May 29th letter. He attributed both banners to his wife. This is, wow. My wife is fond of flying flags. I am not, he wrote. Alito claimed that the upside down U.S. flag was a response to a very nasty neighborhood dispute, and of the appeal to heaven flag wrote that neither he nor his wife were aware of any connection between this historic flag and the Stop the Steal movement. He dismissed any notion that his impartiality might reasonably be questioned and declared that he was duty-bound to reject the recusal demand. Supreme Court Historical Society is a nonprofit organization that collects justices' writings and other artifacts. Anyone can pay $150 to become a dues-paying member and rub elbows with the court's 9 justices at events like the dinner, where Windsor spoke to Alito. Tickets for the dinner, an extra $500. It would set you back. New York Times has reported that for years, right-wing activists who sought to influence the justices' views have been encouraged to donate to the organization and use its events as an opportunity to cultivate personal relationships with the jurists. Now, like I said, Senator Turner, I hearing Martha-Ann, her own voice there, and I heard enough, even with all the background. We know what she said. It made me concerned. It to me sounded vindictive, unhinged. That's how I heard it, and maybe you heard it differently. And I'm also not believing what I think is just too much to believe. We didn't know the flag down the Jersey Shore had anything to do with anything. We thought it was just, it's a beautiful flag. We put it up to greet Snooki and them. We didn't know. You know, okay. How much more of this do we have to take, rhetorically, I ask you? And what do you make of, can you start with Martha-Ann?
Sharon, start with Martha-Ann. You are right, she definitely has a thing for flags. She understood the assignment when her husband became a United States Supreme Court justice. So for her to expect us to feel sorry, woe is Martha-Ann. I mean, are you kidding me? Your husband has a lifetime appointment and you have to help him follow a few rules, and all of a sudden you've been transgressed. I mean, the nerve of her. My grandmother, if she were alive, she would say, more nerve than the brass, a monkey.
Oh,
this lady is showing. So it's her and it's her husband, most likely. Now, she probably put up the flag. So we can debate back and forth whether or not she has a right separate and apart from her husband's appointment or service at this point as United States Supreme Court justice. But you know they come as a package. You know, as the spouse, certain rules your spouse has to follow for him or her to wear that robe. And now you want to act brand new. Martha-Ann been knowing this for years, Sharon. So I do, in some ways, after listening to her, believe that she probably was the one to put up the flag. But he probably most likely did not protest it at all. She does have a thing for a flag, and she let us know very clearly. One thing I do like about Martha-Ann, she let it be known. Okay, I will get me some revenge, unlike some other folks who try to pretend like they are not. Martha-Ann made it clear she doing that.
Mm-hmm. And it's no wonder that she is a proud supporter, I would think, of somebody else who's on a revenge tour right now, right? Yeah. He's doing it as well. If Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's husband were to, I don't know, fly a forever pro-choice flag, would that be as legislation is before, or a court case is before the highest court in the land? What do you think would happen? What do you think people?
Oh, they would drag her. Because now we know there are different rules for different folks in this country. It was very overt once upon a time in this country. It was called Jim Crow and the Black Codes. And now it's a little more covert, but there are black rules still left. There are 21st century black codes still left for Black leaders in this country, and they would just have a field day, literally, if Justice Ketanji Brown's husband did something like that. So she could never, ever, and they would never, but no, she wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Now, Sharon, I will say this. Minister Malcolm X once compared the difference between the North and the South as the difference between the fox and the wolf. He went on to go deeper in that comment to basically say, I would rather deal with the wolf any day. That is what we're seeing right now with Justice Alito and his wife. We might not like any of this. People may say this is unbecoming, but we're dealing with the wolf. And at least when you're dealing with the wolf, you know how to respond. On the other side of this, I have seen very fox-like people of stature try to take revenge on other people, and it's bipartisan, Sharon.
Yep.
My grandmother used to say, new levels, new devils. So I do want our viewers to understand what Justice Alito and his wife are doing is wrong. On the other hand, it's very human response. If you feel put upon, which I don't know why she's feeling put upon. Her husband, very few people become Supreme Court justices ever, but now she feeling put upon. There are others, though, on the more liberal side of the spectrum who would probably feel the same way, but they just won't speak those words out loud. I've seen it. I've talked to people who have had to endure it. I myself have been a victim of it.
Me too.
At the hands of Democrats.
That's right.
And I've talked to many elected, especially Black women, who feel put upon all the time. So it's wrong, especially when you hold positions of power, and especially when you're a Supreme Court justice. You're supposed to comport yourself at a very high standard that does not show bias. At the same time, we must realize that people are human, and we are asking them to do things that are really unnatural, Sharon, as much as it pains me to say. I'm not excusing the Supreme Court justice at all. I am not excusing his wife at all. All I am saying is that as we judge him and his wife and the way they are comporting themselves out loud, see, they're not playing in our face. They letting us know. We also have to hold, if we care about the issue and not the personality, see, we gotta hold those in the other party accountable for the revenge tour that they go on as well.
Yeah, they do within the party, where people lose positions that they've earned.
That's right.
Because they don't like what they said. Others can say whatever they want and be supported. So I see where you're going, and I prefer, Senator, I'm like you, to have a full view of who someone is. Okay, that's what I like. You mentioned Jim Crow. I would hope that you could find Byron Donalds and to maybe talk to him a little bit, but that's another story. I guess it's just, to me, it feels like they're trolling us. Alito's saying he's enjoying this, actually. He's not embarrassed at all. They're trolling us. And I don't know what to do about it. Pack the court, this and that. They're trolling us. And I'll give you the last word.
We should expand the court for sure. I wish President Biden had done that in his first 2 years when Democrats had control of both chambers. We do need, beyond this, we need to expand the United States Supreme Court. We had Roe that we were dealing with, affirmative action that we were dealing with. And I want our viewers to know that the number of justices now has not always been. We've had a little less and we've had a little more. So none of that is finite. It's not locked in stone. We can, in fact, expand the United States Supreme Court. I think it's been done, and somebody should check me on this, but it's been done, I want to say 9 times.
You see
but
that?
Certainly for a fact, even if my number is wrong, it has been done before in the United States.
A woman who knows her history. She's not just getting on here talking opinion. And that's why I say I learn from you every single day. You know more history than a lot of these people up there who are just spouting off. So yeah. But do me a favor, we're gonna move on to the next story, Senator. But I want to make an appointment for you to sit down with Byron Donalds. You mentioned Jim Crow. And your grandmother's right, okay? Your grandmother, spot on.